How's it going, everyone, and thanks for stopping by. Now, I've been going through the S.H.Figuarts Avengers Infinity War figures so far, unboxing them and doing videos of them, and I'm going to continue to do that for the next couple of figures still, actually, and this time it's going to be Hulk, which has been sitting around for a few months. It's April now. He actually came out in November 2018, so yeah, it's been a while. So here it is in front of me. The box itself uses a very similar theme to the rest of the S.H.Figuarts Avengers Infinity War lineup, this time in a gold and green rather than the other colors. Green, of course, because Hulk is green. Massive window display to show the figure itself, and then of course the two extra heads that he comes with. Just to note, the heads look pretty good so far, especially compared to the old S.H.Figuarts that came out some years back for Avengers. On the side then is just a photograph of him and then the usual logos. On the other side, on the back side, is more photos of the actual figure in a few poses. Then on the other side, not a lot. And then the top and bottom are pretty standard for most S.H.Figuarts. So without further ado, let's get this hulking beast open. So after a few months, I've now taken Hulk out of the box, and I have to say, this is a pretty good figure. He may not come with a lot, just two heads and one extra pair of hands, but he's a very big figure and he handles quite well. So I'll get into that in more detail soon, but let's go through the few optional parts that he comes with, then we'll go into the details of the actual figure itself. So first then, let's go with the hands. So he comes with just the one pair of hands, and this is just his grappling hands, you could say, and they have a very, very nice texture to them. They're very large. Of course, it's the Hulk. Let's focus that in for you. This is, the Hulk, so he's gonna have massive hands, but the texture on them is like a grain texture, and yeah, it's just one of those things that it feels pretty good. And if you're gonna swap the hands and stuff, it shouldn't slip out of your hand, and it just kind of adds a nice effect to the overall parts and of course the overall aesthetic of the figure. You can see the veins popping out of both hands. Just show you there. It looks great. It looks great. Very large hands. I mean, big as his face. Then the other parts then are just the two extra heads. So we'll go with the shouting face first. So it's this one, and it's pretty good. I like all three of his heads that he comes with. They do use a little bit of the face scanning digital printing technology, so you can see a little bit of the freckling sort of look on the actual face itself, but the sculpt is also quite good. I think it's better, a lot better actually. It's not even I think, I know it's better, in my opinion anyway, and many others, than the previous Figuarts, which I haven't done an unboxing for. But if you quickly do a Google search of the old figure, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is a much better job of all these various faces. This is a really cool one. This is really cool. Like I said, you can see the freckling too on his teeth, so I'm not sure if it'll come up properly on this video, but yeah, you can see it. It's not too noticeable, only when you're looking at it at a very close proximity. Then onto his other face. This is just his gritting the teeth one. Kind of makes me want to do the same thing right now. But this is just another cool face. It's, you don't want to get on the wrong side of this guy. He means business. He means business, right? But yeah, this is a very cool alternate head too. The hair looks pretty good. He's got that little army kind of look, army haircut going on, but it looks good. It looks good. Then that's the optional parts covered. He doesn't come with a lot. Would have been good if he came with, say, a ground explosion piece, but Tom actually like to sell those separately, so you can do that or buy something third party from eBay. Onto the actual figure then. Now, I'm very happy with this so far. I'm not a huge Hulk fan actually, but I know Hulk as a character, especially with kids, is popular, and just after about 2 minutes playing with him out of the box, all that went through my mind was, I better not put this in front of my nephew, because he's going to end up wanting to play with this, and yeah, Hulk smash, I guess. So let's show you the actual details of this figure. Now, the thing is, I don't think the video will actually do justice to some of the details on him in terms of highlighting like the paint and the texture, but I'll try my best to kind of illustrate that. I mean, I've got very harsh lighting on it, so it might seem a bit more gloss looking, but it's really not. But this figure looks really good to me. So you can see his original head, which is just a very neutral expression. It might be a little bit dead looking to some people, but it's okay. It's kind of like, it's got that face of who farted, but I think it's okay. Again, same haircut for all three of them, but it looks good. Onto the body then. You know, he's just a hulking beast, very a humanoid type of figure. So he's just a big, giant, muscular dude. But the definition and the sculpting on him is super good. Very good muscle tones, very good muscle definition. Guy's hench, basically. You know, look at him shoulders, look at his triceps. Those are massive triceps. Forearms, his hands, like I said, were massive as well. These are just his fists. Again, the veins popping all along his arm. There on the bicep to his shoulders. Same thing on the other arm. Yeah, and you got the shading as well, all across the chest and then his abs. And then on the back muscles too, you've got the shading down here, and then here in the V shape. Also down across into the lower back too. Again, triceps shading there. He's really good. He's probably just lacking some shading on his pants, but that's not a real big deal for me, to be honest. And then down to his feet, massive feet. Again, veins coming out of his calves, and then onto his top of his feet too. He's just got veins protruding out of everywhere. This guy he's a beast. He's a beast. But yeah, he's just very, very, very cool to handle. He's pretty heavy. He's pretty tall, by the way, measuring at about 21 centimeters. So he's one of the biggest S.H.Figuarts humanoid figures out there, alongside Thanos and Dragon Ball Broly, which I'm going to size him up next to in a separate video for Dragon Ball Broly figure. But yeah, let's go through the articulation then to kind of round out the video a little bit. So he can move his head up a very good amount. Even Black Widow could not look up that much, and she needs to look up to this guy. So that's pretty funny, but that's pretty good too. He can move his head down, of course, with the neck joint like so, and then he can tilt his head side to side and look to the left and right. So very, very good head movement. Arms then can move up around that much. If you drop them down a little bit like so, and then pull them up like that, it looks a bit more, you can get a little bit more further up there. I'll show you both arms because I think it's quite impressive what they can do with such a muscular figure. So that's pretty good. And he can bring his arms all the way around, and then he can bring them out as well. And I'll show you that from the reverse side. I'll show you that again. You can bring them out. Weirdly though, mine on the right side comes out a little bit more, but then when I put them in, the left one stays out a little bit more than the right one. Not a huge thing, but just something I did notice. So his arms are pretty good from the shoulder point. Then his bicep. So it's kind of double really, but because of his muscles they block it eventually. So I'll show you that one more time, like so. Twisting at the hand, and then the hinge movement too. He doesn't have an extended fist that Thanos came with. I think that may have benefited him a little bit, but it's okay too. Just a nice bonus to have if they ever redid him. Then to his torso. This is pretty good, I thought. Upper one then, he can crunch like so. I'll show you on the side. But then, together with the lower abs, this guy moves. This guy is very good at crunching. For a big hulking beast like this, he can crunch. But then again, you know, when he does leaps in the comics, he should really be able to bring his body into a bit of a ball. But that's pretty good. So you can see the lower back from the back side too. Let me bring him up again. So you can see it hides it very, very well. You don't even know it's there actually. Do it one more time. But of course, if you bring him too far, then you're going to start seeing some gaps. Leaning back then, he can lean back, you know, a decent amount. It's a respectable amount. But you will see some gap from the front, especially from the underside. From the top, maybe about this angle, not so much, but then you'll start seeing some shadow forms over there, depending on your lighting. Twisting is also quite good, like so. Now, as I'm showing you that, just should point out that you may start getting some scuffing and paint scuffing, general wear and tear around there because of the friction. And one of the other things, just one food for thought, that I wonder how long this will last the test of time, because he is quite heavy, especially on the top. I just kind of want to know how long the joint itself will last before it gets loose, because I do have one loose joint further down, which I'll show you. Lower twist though is also quite good. So together with the upper twist, he can twist really, really well. So again, for a Hulk, he's really, really cool, and I'm just really, really like happy and pleased with what they've done with this so far. He looks good, and so far he moves really good too. Down to the leg then. He doesn't use any pull down motion for his legs. He's not really that you know, what's the word? Not athletic. Doesn't really do gymnastics or things like that. Flexible even to really use his legs that much. There's much of a up and down sort of movement. But this is where my loose joint pops in. So here you can kind of see it's a bit loose on his left leg, but his right leg kicks up. Well, if I go maximum distance, then it kind of stays, but only sometimes. So his left leg for me was a little bit loose. There you go, it stays, but if I don't do it all the maximum, it can sometimes drop. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I'm kind of got unlucky with. He doesn't have twist there, but he does have a twist right here. You can probably notice a little bit of scuffing happening right here as I move the leg up and down and do the twists. That's just going to happen because of friction, and you know, every figure is going to have something like that happening. Again, you can see it on the right leg too. Then to his knee, which is quite good too, and because of the color, it kind of gives it the stretch pants. Hulk wears stretchy pants because, you know, when he gets into Hulk mode, he needs to make sure his pants still fit decently. So that looks pretty good. Then no cut or twist at the calf. Looking at his foot, then he can move his foot down a good amount actually. I don't think even Black Widow could do that. And then up is okay. And then he's got pivoting there. And then finally the toe hinge. So actually, yeah, apart from this very loose, not very loose, but this loose leg, this guy actually has a lot to kind of play around with, and he can move in really, really good like ways. He can get muscle poses done, you know, the bodybuilder pose. Just bring his arm up, like so. Just to kind of illustrate it to you. Look at that. Look at this. This guy is really, really good. There we go. Got him into that pose very quickly for you. You know, get him crunching down, legs apart a bit. Swap his head. I will do that in just a moment. And then of course when he's trying to yell at you, why don't we do that right now? I'll show you how to swap his head. There's a little bit another scuff that I also want to mention, but let's swap his head first. So you just pull it off and then just pop it back in. You should hear the click if it happens. There we go. Hulk smash! It just looks really, really cool. Honestly, he looks so good. He can stand decently as well. I haven't actually posed him properly like this, but there you go. There's almost no effort from my part. He looks great doing this. Let's get him to look up a bit. Okay, looks like he needs to go to the toilet, but yeah. Looks so good, so good. Let's change his hand. Again, similar thing. Remember, he only comes with one extra pair of hands, so there's not really a lot of options to do. It does, by the way, tell you it's the right hand. In there, etched inside. Attach it. Sometimes you won't get a click with the hand, so just force it a bit, and yeah, it seems to have gone on. There we go. Hulk smash! Hulk wants food! But this looks great. Help me, everyone! Why am I a toy? Yeah, anyway, but yeah, this looks so good. It's very, very fun to play with. But here's the other thing that I just wanted to mention. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. But yeah, just because of the way it's probably manufactured, and the way the muscles were cut, the parts were cut, bit of looks like it's damaged there. And then similarly on the other side around the same place, you're not really going to see it, just something I noticed. I was just being picky though, I think, with that one. But honestly, that was just me reaching for a fault with this figure. But the only real fault, you know, not a huge fault, it's a luck thing that I had, was again this loose leg. But otherwise, this figure is, wow. Yeah, I'm actually really like, probably one of my favorite Avengers Infinity War figures easily. This guy is very, very cool. So I'm going to keep him posed just there momentarily. Let me bring out Thanos just to show you the size difference. Now, remember, Hulk is not in the standing upright position. This is Thanos. About the same size. So, yeah, Hulk is taller. Now, my camera is at a different angle or two, so it'll be from top to bottom, so you're not really going to see the proper dimensions, how tall Hulk is compared to Thanos. But Hulk is definitely taller. About 2 centimeters because 21 centimeters and 19. Maths, baby. Then let's bring out Iron Man, who I've posed for you. Let's put him in the front. Iron Man is tiny. Tiny Tin Man. And then let's bring out, finally, Thor, who is supposed to be actually looking at him. So he's tiny too. These guys are just like nothing compared to Hulk. So that's the size then. Now, where did I get mine from? I got mine from Nippon Yasan for the regular price, which was I think around 8,000 yen. You could still get him for around 10,000 yen now, which is not too much extra compared to the retail price. Or you might go on eBay and you may end up paying a little bit more. But so far, out of all the S.H.Figuarts Avengers Infinity War figures that I've unboxed, this is probably my favorite one, like by far. He's only got one issue there, which I don't think was a big deal breaker, unlike Thor, whose arm was a bit annoying, a nuisance to deal with. And he's very, very posable for a big hulking beast. He's super fun to play with. Only other drawback, minus that a little bit, is if they gave a few extra parts. An effect part, maybe, I don't know. Maybe even another pair of hands, but I'm not really sure what kind of pair of hands he would need. But just something to kind of make it even more exciting and much, much, much more, well, I've kind of sung its praises really, but I can sing its praise even more with one additional part, right? But yeah, if you are a Hulk fan, which I know many children are, sadly this isn't really for them, you know, given how much this guy costs. But if you're, you know, if you have a child that's a bit more careful and you want to supervise them in playing, this is okay. It seems pretty robust. Just don't let them go like crazy with it. But this is actually a smashing figure. No joke. This is a smashing figure. So probably one of my favorite figures I've unboxed this year, and we're only in late April. And this was a November figure from 2018. But anyway, that's the unboxing, and I guess you could call this one actually a review of Hulk from Avengers Infinity War. I do have the other Endgame figures on pre-order. I'm just waiting for them to fly on over to the UK from Japan. In the meantime though, if you like this video, do feel free to check out my channel for more of the S.H.Figuarts Avengers Infinity War toys, of course, and more of S.H.Figuarts from Dragon Ball, Street Fighter, and Figma from other sort of anime IP and gaming IP. Thanks for watching though. Take care wherever you are and whatever it is that you're doing, and I'll see you in the next video.